Ashley Barty, what have you done? As I'm sure you all know by now, world number 1 and 3-time major champion Ash Barty announced her retirement from professional tennis this week. The news came as a shock to everyone as she had just won the Australian Open about a month earlier without dropping a single set. However, Barty says she simply didn't have the physical or emotional drive to continue her reign atop the sport. It was simply spent. This still is very surreal to me because Barty has only been playing her high-level tennis for barely 4 years. She did take a break from the sport at 18 years old back in 2014 due to the pressure of being touted a rising player to watch. I think Ash's retirement came as such a shock to people because of how tennis players are playing much later in their careers, some even thriving at 40 years old. However, like Justine Henin did back in 2008, Ash broke the mold by retiring atop the sport while only 25 years old. I was shocked about Barty's retirement announcement, but not necessarily surprised because she did express how she struggled a bit having to be on the road basically all season last year due to the strict COVID restrictions in Australia. She withdrew from the Sunshine Double, saying that she needed to recover from Melbourne, which didn't really make too much sense, seeing that she dominated all of her matches. Ash got engaged back in November, and I think she's ready to settle down and perhaps have a family. She probably also feels that she has nothing more to accomplish, winning her 2 most coveted slams, plus being atop the rankings for over 100 weeks in a row. I do feel like Ash will make a comeback to the sport later on like Henin, but if not, I wish her a happy and fulfilling retirement. Now Barty is going to remove herself from the WTA rankings, effective the Monday following the Miami Open. Iga Swiatek clinched the top spot last night with her 6-2 6-love opening round Miami Open win over Victoria Golubic. Swiatek makes history as the first ever Polish number 1, male or female. As Barty herself said, there's no other player more deserving of the number 1 position than Iga. She's been killing it so far this season, winning Doha and Indian Wells. Iga's also just been very consistent overall, reaching the second week of each major since winning the French Open back in 2020. Now we can say with confidence that she's the best active player on tour at the moment. I was also impressed with how she handled the occasion of playing for the number 1 ranking, as she stayed composed and played another excellent match. It's often hard to remember that she's only 20 years old as well. Iga's rise to the top has been meteoric in a sense, going from being ranked nearly 700 in the world in 2018 to world number 1 4 years later. She talked about how she's solely focused on putting in the work day in and day out, and clearly that's paid off. Congratulations, Iga, on a very deserved career milestone. Now, Swiatek was one of the few WTA players who actually did win their opening match in the 305, as 15 seeded players fell in round 2. Just going over some of the top upsets, Sabalenka fell to Irina Camelia Begu 6-4, 6-4. Kontaveit and Sarpi lost in 3 sets to Ang Lee and Haddad Maia respectively. Ostapenko lost to Shelby Rogers for the second consecutive week in a row, while Emma Raducanu lost another third set match she should have won, with Siniakova being the victor. There have also been a lot of walkovers and retirements this tournament. Simona Halep and Garbiñe Muguruza withdrew ahead of the event. Halep sustained a leg injury during practice, while Garbiñe hurt her left shoulder. Both withdrew from their 2 upcoming scheduled tournaments. Vondrousova and Georgie pulled out as well. Looking at the remaining carnage, Bencic is the highest seed remaining in the top 3 sections and plays Sasnovich for a spot in the quarterfinals. Katerina Siniakova, who beat Raducanu, retired from her match 6-love 1-love down to Daria Saville, who plays Lucia Bronzetti, who got a walkover herself. Naomi Osaka also received a walkover after her third-round opponent, Karolina Muchova, withdrew hours before their match. I was disappointed in that one because both women have been playing so well. Osaka demolished Kerber 2-3 the previous round, showing flashes of her peak slam winning form. Muchova had made her comeback from a near 6-month layoff this week and played very well, getting a straight sets win over Leylah Fernandez in the process. Her issue doesn't appear to be anything too serious, just the extra fatigue that comes from post-hiatus play. Regardless, Osaka's section is wide open and she'll be the favorite to come through here and reach the quarters, although risk might pose a problem, especially seeing as Naomi might be impacted by that walkover. American Danielle Collins is still active, getting a solid straight sets win over Vera Zvonareva. She's a bit of a question mark too though, as she was struggling with some neck issues. She'll play Onsterberg next. Things are a little bit better on the bottom half as Paula Badosa and Victoria Azarenka set up a blockbuster clash in round 4. Keep an eye out for Vika's opponent though, 16-year-old Linda Fruhvirtova, who upset 20th seed Mertens last round. Pegula and Rybakina headlined the lone all-seeded third round match, and the winner of that could play the winner of Kalinina and Haddad Maia. Petra Kvitova is still alive and kicking, now playing Lauren Davis. Another American, Shelby Rogers, looms as she could next face Veronika Kudermetova. Lastly, Coco Gauff and Iga Swiatek are still on course to meet for a 4th round affair in Miami. The men's side has seen its fair share of upsets too. Zverev is the only seat remaining in his section, as Dimitrov, Schwartzman, and Sonego were all bounced. These losses weren't really surprising because Kokkinakis is always a tough out, as is McDonald. Also, Sonego has been struggling for a hot minute now and really shouldn't even be seeded. Ruud's section looks much better as John Isner is the only seed not to make it through. Matteo Berrettini withdrew after the draw was made, so that's one less seed there anyways. Francis Tiafoe, who narrowly survived Brandon Nakashima, will look to take advantage of the Italian's absence, as will Gael Monfils. Both black brothers will need to move past the Sarandolo brothers before they meet. Meanwhile, Nick Kyrgios has kept up his superb form, demolishing 5th seed Andrey Rublev 6-3-6 love in 52 minutes. We'll surely be in for a spectacle when he plays Fabio Fognini next round. Fellow Italian Jannik Sinner still looms as the defending runner-up saved 3 match points in his opening round match versus Emil Ruuzuvari. One section in particular is riddled with American flags as Indian Welsh champ Taylor Fritz wins his opener in 3 sets to set up a meeting with compatriot Tommy Paul. Meanwhile, Sebastian Korda pulled off a comeback win over Ramos Vinolas, saving a match point to reach the 3rd round. He'll next get Miomir Kecmanovic, who's been playing really well this Sunshine Double, getting another top 10 scout with a straight sets win over Auger Aliassime. JJ Wolf may have lost to Stefano Tsitsipas tonight, but he hit the shot of the year thus far, threading a lefty passing shot up the line, leaving the 3rd seed in utter shock. Tsitsipas though gets Alex de Minaur in the 3rd round. Meanwhile, Marin Cilic and Carlos Alcaraz will meet, and that one should really be a strong matchup. Defending champ Hubie Hurkacz opened with a solid straight sets win, and next week's 29th seed Aslan Karatsev. Meanwhile, both Denis Shapovalov and Dan Evans couldn't get past their first test, losing to Lloyd Harris and Yoshito Nishioka respectively. Shapovalov losing isn't really a surprise because he's streaky and Harris is always a tough out. However, Evans has been playing some solid tennis lately, so props to the Japanese man on clinching the upset. Top seed Daniil Medvedev had a solid start to his Miami Open campaign, dominating Andy Murray 6-4, 6-2. Murray will be skipping the clay court season to train with Ivan Lendl for Wimbledon, so we'll next see him on the court in the summer. Daniil could face Roberto Bautista Agut in the 4th round, the same man who sent him packing at last year's Miami Open. However, Jenson Brooksby is going to give the Spanish veteran a stern test, especially after dispatching of Nicolas Basilashvili so easily. Now, Jenson really even shouldn't be playing this tournament still, in all honesty, after throwing his racket and hitting a ball person during his 1st round match. He did apologize to the man, but recorded it, which makes him look a tad bit fake. Now looking ahead to day 6 of action, Badosa, Kyrgios, Swiatek, Tiafoe, and Zverev headline action on Stadium Court. Meanwhile, Norrie, Azarenka, Gauff, Kvitova, and Monfils are on grandstand. That's all for this video, and let me know your thoughts on the Barty's retirement, Iga getting to number 1, and the WTA being in shambles in the comment section below. Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more Miami Open updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.